For as long as we have known them, the Inuit seem to belong to the Arctic itself, as permanent as the ice, as ancient as the frozen north where they built their lives. The story was simple. They had always been there, the last unbroken thread reaching back to the end of the last ice age. But in 2014, researchers sequencing ancient Arctic genomes uncovered something that quietly dismantled that certainty. The ancestors of today's Inuit were not the Arctic's first inhabitants. They arrived late, swept eastward across a continent, and replaced the people who came before. Everything changes here. To understand why this discovery landed with such force, you first need to understand what the old story actually claimed and why it felt so unshakable. For most of the 20th century, the consensus was elegant in its simplicity. The Arctic had been settled once by a single hardy people, and everyone living in the far north today was their descendant. The frozen coastlines of Canada, Greenland, and Alaska were seen as a continuous homeland, occupied without interruption since humans first pushed into that punishing world. It was a story of endurance. One people, one place, one unbroken line stretching back into the ice. But archaeology had always contained a quieter, more troubling detail. The Arctic did not hold one culture. It held several, layered one atop the other in the frozen ground. The oldest of these are what scholars call the Paleo-Inuit or Paleo-Eskimo peoples, who entered the North American Arctic more than 4,000 years ago. Among them was the Dorset culture, a remarkable people who carved delicate ivory figurines, hunted, sealed through the sea ice, and survived in near-total isolation for millennia. And then, roughly 800 to 1,000 years ago, a different people appeared in the archaeological record. Scholars call them the Thule. To separate these populations, scientists needed a tool sharper than pottery styles or harpoon designs. They needed ancient DNA. Think of a genome as a manuscript copied across generations, each copy carrying tiny inherited errors that accumulate over time. By reading these errors, geneticists can measure how closely two populations are related and how long ago their lineages diverged. When remains are old enough and cold enough, as Arctic remains almost always are, that manuscript survives in the bone. The frozen north, it turned out, had been preserving its own genetic archive for thousands of years, waiting to be read. For decades, archaeologists debated a single, reasonable question. Did the Dorset people simply become the Inuit? On the surface, it made perfect sense. Both lived in the same brutal environment. Both hunted the same animals with related technologies. The Thule seemed to appear just as the Dorset vanished, and the tidiest explanation was gradual transformation, one culture evolving into the next as tools improved and climates shifted. Continuity was the intuitive answer. It required no dramatic migrations, no vanished peoples, no replacement. The old inhabitants had not disappeared. They had simply changed. But there is a problem. When researchers finally sequenced the genomes of Dorset and Thule remains, the intuitive answer collapsed. The two populations were not a single lineage evolving through time. They were genetically distinct peoples, separated by thousands of years and by entirely different journeys out of Siberia. A landmark 2014 study published in the journal Science analyzed dozens of ancient Arctic genomes and reached a stark conclusion. The Paleo-Inuit, including the Dorset, descended from one migration across the Bering Strait. The Thule ancestors of modern Inuit descended from a later, separate one. For nearly 4,000 years, the Paleo-Inuit had lived across the Arctic in astonishing genetic isolation, barely mixing with anyone. And then they were gone. The Dorset did not evolve into the Inuit. They were replaced by them. This is where the story turns genuinely strange, because the replacement was not gradual. The Thule swept east from Alaska with extraordinary speed, crossing the entire North American Arctic in perhaps a few centuries, reaching Greenland within a handful of generations. Wherever they arrived, the Dorset presence in the genetic record thinned and then vanished. Whether through displacement, disease, competition, or absorption, too limited to leave a mark, the outcome was the same. An entire people who had endured for 4 millennia disappeared, leaving behind their carvings and their tools, but almost nothing in the DNA of those who followed. And the migrations did not stop at 2. The deeper geneticists looked, the more the Bering Strait revealed itself not as a single doorway crossed once, but as a corridor used again and again. Multiple waves of people had moved between Asia and the Americas over thousands of years, each carrying its own genetic signature, each layering new ancestry over the old. The Arctic was never a sealed room occupied by one unchanging people. It was a crossroads, colder and more remote than any other on Earth, but a crossroads all the same, where populations arrived, endured, and sometimes vanished entirely. The clean story, the one continuous thread, was gone. In its place stood something far more unsettling and far more real. At least 2 distinct peoples, divided by deep time, had called the same frozen world home, and the ones we know today were the newcomers. The question was no longer who the Inuit had always been. It was where these remarkable newcomers had truly come from. So who were the Thule, and what allowed them to accomplish something no people before them had managed? The answer reframes the entire story, because the Thule expansion was not an act of desperation or a grim accident of climate. It was one of the most extraordinary feats of exploration in human history. These were master engineers of the sea, a maritime people who had perfected a technology the Dorset never possessed. They built large, skin boats capable of open water travel. They hunted the bowhead whale, an animal so massive that a single kill could feed a community through winter. With dog sleds across the ice and boats across the water, the Thule could move and provision themselves on a scale the older Arctic peoples could not match. That mobility explains the speed. When the climate warmed slightly around 1,000 years ago, opening the sea ice and drawing the great whales along new migration routes, the Thule followed. They did not crawl across the Arctic. They surged across it, from Alaska to Greenland, tracking the animals that sustained them. What looks in the archaeological record like a sudden replacement was, from the inside, a people simply doing what they did best, spreading as far as their remarkable technology could carry them. But the genome revealed something even deeper than skill. It revealed biology, reshaped by the Arctic itself. When geneticists examined the DNA of Inuit populations, they found genetic adaptations found almost nowhere else on Earth, signatures written into the body by thousands of years in extreme cold. A landmark study published in 2015 in the journal Science identified variants in genes governing fat metabolism, adaptations that allowed Inuit ancestors to thrive on a diet composed almost entirely of meat and blubber, food that would harm most other populations. These genes influenced how the body processed omega-3 fatty acids, how it regulated cholesterol, even how it generated heat. The Arctic had not merely been endured, it had been answered at the level of the genome over hundreds of generations. And then came the strangest connection of all. When researchers traced the ancestry of the Paleo-Inuit, the vanished Dorset, and their kin, they found an unexpected genetic thread reaching south, linking these Arctic peoples to the Na-Dene-speaking populations of North America. Groups such as the Navajo and the Apache, living thousands of miles away in far warmer lands. It was a signal of a shared deep ancestry, a hint that the peopling of the Americas was not a single event, but a series of overlapping migrations, their traces braided together in ways no one had anticipated. The frozen archive of the North held clues to the story of an entire continent. Step back, and the Arctic stops looking like an isolated corner of the world. It becomes a laboratory of the human capacity to adapt. Here was a place that should have been uninhabitable, and human beings entered it not once, but repeatedly, each wave carrying its own answer to the same impossible question of how to survive. Some answered with isolation and endurance. Others answered with technology and biology rewritten by cold. The mystery was never really about the Inuit alone. It was about what our species is capable of when pushed to the very edge of the possible. Imagine standing on a Greenland shore 800 years ago, watching a fleet of skin boats appear on the horizon. Hunters who had crossed a continent of ice to reach you. Imagine knowing that their children would inherit this coast, that their genes would carry the memory of every cold generation before them, and that 1,000 years later, scientists would read that memory in their bones. The Inuit oral traditions speak of the peoples who came before, the Tunit, remembered as strong and shy, giants of the old ice. For generations, these stories were treated as myth. Ancient DNA has now confirmed that the memory was real. There truly were others here first. This is what the science ultimately gives us. Not a smaller story, but a vastly larger one. The old belief that the Inuit were the Arctic's timeless survivors was a single flat image. What ancient DNA revealed instead was depth, movement, and astonishing achievement. A people who did not merely cling to the frozen north, but conquered it through invention and endurance, arriving late and remaking an entire world in a few short centuries. Every layer of this story is real. The Paleo-Inuit, who endured 4,000 years in isolation. The Thule, who swept across an icebound continent. The genes rewritten by cold, the connections reaching south. The oral memory that outlasted the people it described. None of it diminishes who the Inuit are. It reveals them more fully than history ever could, as heirs to one of humanity's greatest journeys. The Inuit were never simply survivors of an ancient world. They were, and remain, its most remarkable explorers.